Again, good morning. It's Priscilla Batzell in Spring Hill, Florida at Expressionist Art Studio Gallery in the backyard, and it's warm again in Florida. Yay! Well, sort of yay. I have to run the fans. Anyway, so somebody asked me, a friend of mine asked me quite a while ago now, because I don't get around to things very fast, some of them, because I get a lot of work to do. I'm not getting all of it done either. This is my container. I'm going to put a conglomeration of colors that I'm not used to using in, and then I'm going to scoop them out. And because I've found that the white is working well, I'm thinking that I'm going to start with black and white. There's probably more space in this container than I actually want, so that's going to be interesting. But I can dip my spatulas, my Princeton Art Tool Catalyst spatulas in there, and I do have small scoops, and we will give this a shot. So the weird thing about this is the browns and the yellows and the blues. Not the blues. The blues aren't really weird, but the browns are weird for me. And I'm going to try and leave those tops off somewhere I can find them, because they're not my usual tops. And this is a deco. This is a Prussian blue with a deco art pouring medium in it, and I want some white near that. Hey, just leave the tops off. All right, so tops are off. I can put that in there. This is weird. I'm a little stranged out by it, a little nervous. I've got several colors of gold, and that's oh, I don't know what that is. That's not a burnt umber, but this is kind of a burnt umber. And I think I was going to stick with just the blue that I have in my hand that I haven't put in there yet. Yes, these are actually colors my dad uses in artwork. He's got some really nice wave scenes with the rocks and the mist and kind of abstract fun stuff. But I'm kind of hoping that this is going to be alright. I have several colors of gold. I don't know how different they're going to be from each other. I think that's the one I just made up. That's a deco art gold. I'm kind of liking that the copper, but I think this requires black. And since it's going to be, I think it's going to be another puddle pour is what I think, because I've been having a good time with that, and I sort of get stuck in zones. Let's call them zones. I have glasses on my head, I have black paint, and I want to have black paint in the center here. And I'm going to introduce anybody who hasn't been introduced before to my OXO omelet turning spatula, which I sell, or I provide the link to, or whatever you want to call it, on my Amazon link right below the video. Best paint spreading spatula around, for sure, bar none, in my opinion. Beats a popsicle stick every time. And I'm going to spread that as far as I can spread it without leaving it too awfully thick. And then I'm going to fill in with white. And I'm not going to worry about my edges now, because I like to have something to hang on to while I tip. I am going to use all of the paint I can possibly get off of there. And then put it back on again. Ah, duh. And I'm going to wipe it off with my, I use a sweatshirt material. It works really well. And I keep a wet rag in my studio. I've probably told everybody that a bazillion times, but since there are more than 37,000 subscribers, I figure a few people might have missed a few things. They might have just been enthusiastic in the moment. But that also reminds me that there are over 350 plus videos right now, so if you like what I do, check some more out. I've been trying to post one a day for a long time. I don't post one every day, but I post them in advance. That's helpful to me. That means I might someday get caught up with all the editing of the pictures. I chose a camera for its pixel availability, and what it means is I shoot in RAW, which means that everything has to be edited or it doesn't even show up. I don't know what to say, because the files are just too large. But they make excellent prints once you do edit them. So this is almost done. Yay. Probably a little more paint on this side than I expected. This is a 12 by 16 inch canvas, and that spatula is going in the bucket for right now. I have keep it a bucket of water, and I really liked recently. I liked the contrast. Now usually puddle pour would be all puddle, but I don't see any real point to that because I'm going to put a puddle in it. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but anyway, so here goes nothing. There's puddle number one. If I want to shove all this down, this is the great thing about these spatulas, is they do what spatulas do best, is they squeegee stuff. And if I put it all down to the bottom, then I can also get it out easily. I think I could have used a little more black. The wind is blowing almightily today, so things are going to get a little, they're getting a little noisy, shall we say. I'm going to throw a few more colors in there, just because I'm compulsive. Not for any other reason. Enough is never enough. Alright, so I'm going to go back to this, and I'm going to squeeze a puddle of whatever strikes my fancy right in the middle of everything. Push it out. And then go back to doing what I was doing again. I think I'll be looking for an edge catcher any moment, which just stops the paint at the edge of the canvas from flowing over, and if I'm clever and I don't drip too badly on myself, I get to push it back under the canvas. I want a whole lot more white in there, I'll tell you what. I think I'm going to have. I don't know what I'm going to have. I lost my train of thought, sorry. I like that black one over there, but I want some gold around it, I think. Maybe I should have, no. I still have a hard time with these colors. Adding actual brown to things just doesn't match up with my general MO, sorry. And I guess they're not really ring pours, but they're ring pours because I'm pouring rings. That's the bottom line to that. And I'm expecting this white that I put in here to be contrastful. Oops, that's a double puddle. Okay, well, there's probably a lot more paint in there than I expected. And I'm still not super excited about these colors yet, but we got some pretty patterns in the dish. Some beautiful lacy cells, and I don't know why I would think you'd be interested in that, but it's pretty, so I gotta share. Alright, so now I'm gonna do what I said I was gonna do, and I've got a lot of paint on there, probably more than I need, and I'm gonna grab any one of a bunch of edge catchers. These are kind of small, so I'm gonna go with something a little bigger, maybe a little too big, but it still doesn't matter. I'm gonna see what happens when I tip to try and keep what I've got on the canvas for the moment. And I can always add paint. That's the joy about the squeeze bottles, is I can always add paint. I'm going to let it pool. I'm going to let it pool and throw it back. I'm going to watch it move. I'll let it all go down that way. I wish there was a little more difference in my first two puddles. So if I let that flow off enough, when I throw it back on, it's going to create a whole new zone, which is okay with me. And I squeeze it to cover the edge. If you have too much floppy space at the top of your edge catcher, you may wind up with it in your painting, which is something that's happened to me occasionally. Alright, so I'm not hating that. I think it's actually kind of pretty. I'm still not sure about that brown, but I'm going to quick hit and run on my edges because I see that there's no, that the paint is not really staying on the top. And I have to make up my mind. I have to make a few choices pretty quick here about what I want to do with this. And I like gold. What can I say? I don't know that many people who don't like gold, but I like gold a lot. So gold works for me. And the nice thing about my Princeton Cattle spatulas is they make excellent swipe tools and excellent tools to drag. When you drag or swipe, you often will get cells. Now this, I want to do something with that. I really want to just... sound effects. That's not bothering me. What else? I'm going to let that paint go right over the side. This is really, these colors are a bigger experiment for me than most of my actual experiments. And I'm just going to cover whatever my finger happens to run into that's usable for paint on the edges. And because it's got pouring medium in it and GAC 800, because it's got GAC 800 in it, I can often leave it thick. GAC 800 is meant to prevent paintings from cracking, or thick paint from cracking as it dries. Okay, so that copper is kind of lonely, isn't it? I think it might be a good idea to give it a little wallop of copper. And I like my skewer for integrating things and creating a different kind of pattern. So that's alright with me. It's not unattractive. I see that. That is unattractive. That's a fingerprint. Bye, fingerprint. Paint flows to paint. Paint also helps clean paint off. Hopefully that will be the case in this case. So the one thing I'm not seeing a lot of that I liked was the blue. And I'm seeing even less of the Prussian blue. It looks like I really just didn't use enough of it. So I give myself permission to go ahead and add some. I may even steal that paint. And since I have that paint right there, I don't know. Sometimes it's weird talking to yourself and expecting other people to listen. That is the case, though. You hear everything, I know you do. Even the little things I mutter under my breath. I want some more blue in there. My mother had an affinity for that blue. Actually, maybe a slightly more colonial blue. Blue and orange, her favorite colors, seemed like to me. The orange velour couch spoke volumes in that regard. Alright, so I'm not unhappy with this. It's actually kind of cool. I'm going to take paint off my finger and just do whatever I want to it. I really want to do something here. I'm not sure that worked. I'm not sure it didn't either. I have this lovely brown here. Sarcasm. But it's not really hurting my feelings. I kind of would like to put some white in there, actually. Or maybe some more of that copper. Not sure. I got 4 minutes left. So if you like what I do for experiments, I have PayPal and Patreon links both underneath the video and on my YouTube header. And if you contribute to the studio, you will most likely be contributing to your own potential winning of a painting, because I am often running a contest where one of 3 paintings is the choice of the person who I draw the name of. That was very clumsy me getting that out, but that's the case. I also have other ways I'm attempting to make an income, which are Teespring clothing line underneath the video, assuming I've kept it up, because I'm getting a little behind there, to tell you the truth. I'm going to give that a little white along the edge, so if I want to drip some paint over and continue that design, I can do that. And that's how I do that with the skewer. Just grab a hold of it I've got to clean my hands off, I think. Oh, I got to clean off more than my hands. I just saw that. Okay, well, it is what it is, and that's what it is right there, right now. I kind of want to take my straw to this while we got a couple of minutes left. It's kind of neat. It's growing on me. It is. I don't know if the black will stay up, but I'd like it to. I like waggling my skewer because it makes those little flame wobbles. I don't know if I can wobble where wobbles are, but... Ooh, I like the black, makes wicked little cells on the gold. Very cool. I'm not unhappy with any of that. I think I want a little bit more over here though. There could have been a little more gray in there, maybe some silver next time. I'm not sure what I'm doing here, it's not making me happy yet. I do tend to add spirals occasionally. That is a nice breeze. I'm almost done, and the timer's going to go off in a minute, so I might as well tell you also that I still have Facebook albums underneath the description, at the very bottom of the description when you open Show More, that will share with you the artworks from YouTube. And that, there's Volume 1, Volume 2, and Volume 3 coming right up. I'm working on Volume 3, so maybe by the time you see this, it'll already be filled up. Let's cross our fingers and hope for the best. I like that white, but I want some cells in there. And I like all this over here, but I want some black over there. And I'm enjoying playing with my skewer. It occurs to me I could probably play with some chain, but there's already so much pattern in here. I don't know if it's really necessary to add that much more to it. I am going to just keep on adding some paint to the areas where the edges are bare. Alright, so let's torch. The timer's going to go off in 10 seconds. Then I have 2 minutes to tell you that my Amazon link is right under the video. Actually, it's probably right under the Teespring. And everything you buy at Amazon, a little tiny bit of it goes to me at no added expense to you. And what else? I don't know. I'm busy. I torch to release the bubbles in the paint. And also to enhance patterns, because I use Floetrol and GAC 800. I think that needs to be a little lower. Please don't go out, because you will cook your paint if you're not careful. The reason I don't use butane torches is because I have 4 of them on my shelf, and they just don't last for me. What else did I not tell you? I have Instagram, and I have Instagram and Pinterest boards. I like that copper, but I definitely needed something over this way to make it a little more cohesive for me. So that's it. I like that. Oh yes. Yes, that was perfect. Ha. I like it when something works. I'm just using the flat end of my skewer to drag so I don't get bound up on the canvas with the pointing end. I think I'm very well close to done. And I'm going to say, I hope I remembered to tell you everything I was supposed to tell you, and if I didn't watch another video, there's 350 of them, as I may have mentioned. I'm not so sure about that, but I'm pretty sure about this. I'm just going to go ahead. Yeah, we have quacking crows in Florida, where we live. That's what you're hearing in the background. I don't know what language that is. It's crow special. But they do quack. So that's all good. I like it so much.